Hey, what is going on, guys? Today I'm circling back to an omnibus that I didn't get to review at the time that it was released, but I was still very excited to get it, very excited to read it. So today, without further ado, we're going to check out the X-Men Inferno Prologue Omnibus.
Okay, and here's what the cover of the book looks like. This is the one that I went with because I just like the huge display of all the cast of characters that are involved in X-Men lore. I think it looks great. I think it looks really cool. Here's the spine of the book. Maybe it looks a little bit busy, but I actually do really like this spine, and it's got a nice classic image there at the bottom. And then strike the match, fan the flame. We've got Cyclops taking on Thor as the back of the book. Alright, so actually hopping into the book itself, first of all, here's what it collects. X Factor 27 through 32, X Factor Annual number 3, Uncanny X-Men number 228 to 238, New Mutants number 62 to 70, New Mutants Annual number 4, X-Men Annual number 12, material from Marvel Age Annual number 4, and the Marvel Fanfare number 40. So, what is this omnibus exactly? Well, it's called the Inferno Prologue, but if you think there's going to be a lot of material in it that has to do with the actual X-Men Inferno storyline, then in my opinion, that's not exactly correct. It's more just kind of like extra context to why and where some of our characters are when the Inferno actually ignites. And it covers, little details like how X Factor, for example, actually got their ship from Apocalypse, some of the issues that they had to deal with in the beginning, stuff like that. There is actually, this omnibus is a little X Factor heavy in the front, and I like X Factor, but probably it's on the lower end of the spectrum for X-Men spin-off books that I enjoy. So, if you're not the biggest fan of X Factor, just forewarning, you may have to push through some of those initial issues before we start getting more X-Men and New Mutants and other material that you might find more enjoyable, other mutants that you might want more of a focus on. And this is actually a really, really fun time for the X-Men team because this is during the Outback era. This takes place after Fall of the Mutants when they're all presumed dead pretty much. And I just really like this era. I think it is one of the most fun and lively times for the team. Everyone is just, lounging about sometimes in their Outback lair, using that as their base of operations, but then, using Gateway to go wherever they need to go to take care of business, and I just really enjoy that. Now, I don't think there's a ton of essential X-Men reading material in this book. It's a little padded, maybe, actually, but it's all still super fun and worth reading if you're a diehard X-Men fan, like I consider myself to be. If you're really just in it for the love of the characters, you want to know the full context of, everything that has sort of happened in the X-Men mythos, then of course, you've got to pick this one up. I also did really enjoy the New Mutants issues in here, and I don't want to spoil anything really for you, even though the storylines are decades old at this point, but you could be like me and someone who just discovered it in the past 2-3 years. But basically, the New Mutants in here, they're sort of dealing with a tragedy, the loss of someone who they held near and dear, and those issues, I think, are still pretty heartfelt and touching, and worth reading alone, even if you're not interested in some of the other material that may be in this book. And some of that relationship stuff from the New Mutants does extend to the X-Men books in here, the Uncanny X-Men series, that is. Like, for example, a really nice issue that I enjoy is this particular X-Men issue where Colossus and Magic sort of actually finally have the revelation with each other about, what Magic has sort of become from her time in Limbo, and that she's not necessarily the same little snowflake that Colossus used to call her all the time. She's grown up and she's sort of metamorphosized into something different, and not bad, but just different. The big takeaway there is that, she's still Magic, she's still Colossus' sister, and it's a nice little moment there as well. And I think that's sort of a lot of what this omnibus is, just these really nice little character moments, nothing too concerned with the massive X-Men mythos and, what is about to come to play in the actual Inferno event. Also, if you're a big Brood fan and you actually haven't read or picked up the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 3, there's some pretty cool Brood stuff in here, and I think that is also collected in the Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 3, but like I said, if you haven't been able to get your hands on that and you want it in this format, then go ahead and pick this book up. And I think that is maybe one of the issues that this omnibus may not be for everybody. There is a lot of issues that are put in here that are in other books, like the New Mutants Omnibus Volume 2, and then sort of the Uncanny X-Men omnibuses. So there may be a little double dipping for those who have been hardcore collecting all of these X-Men omnibuses, like myself. But if you're also someone who, really cares about shelf prominence, then you're probably going to pick this one up anyway. But there are issues of things that haven't been collected in other omnibuses that have been put in here. It's a fun book, guys. It's a fast read. It's got good material. May be collected elsewhere, but still a really good material. So let me know if you're going to pick this one up. Let me know if you did pick this one up. I know it's been out a while now. And that is it for this video. Hope you all have a great rest of your day.